Greetings, everyone. My name is Etterville, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Mega Man Maker. Tonight, I'll be continuing my coverage of the level pack / quote-unquote fan game Mega Man Colors by JetHawk 74. Last week, I cleared Acts 0 and 1, wherein I cleared the intro stage and defeated the first 8 of the Color Masters. In Act 2, these Color Masters fuse together to form the CNNs, or rather should I say CMNs, the Color Mixer Numbers, or Fusion Members. Off screen, I decided to choose who I should go after first, but afterwards, you can choose my next RM. So I'll start by going after Navy Blue Mission Man, with 43 plays and a score of 16. Welcome back, YouTube, Jaden, Hyper, Nuthouse, JetHawk, Hyper, Lepadio, YouTube, Night Toss, Pixel Boy, all the lurkers, and anyone else who I missed. I'm hoping to cover at least 8 to 12 levels tonight. I'm going to cover the 8 Fusion Masters, then the first 4 Fortress levels. Because this pack consists of 28 levels, it's better to split it that way. But we'll see. Maybe I'll cover just 10 levels tonight and do the rest 10 next week. Oh, the Redux trilogy, I see. Continuing with the color trend, because these are fusions, we have a mixture of 2 different colors. Or more flexibility with the color space. Compared to all the longer level packs I played, this one has the greatest quantity of levels. I don't recall any of the other ones having 28. Maybe 20 at most, and that honor goes to one of the Fierce BattleBots series. That makes sense. They are kind of a mid-range developer anyways, in terms of size. Mid-size developer. Whoa. Well, I finished the latest one in the series, 5. That's what happened. Six is under development. Probably the Scrambled Thunder would be better, due to his piercing. Heavy Elite? He's still here. He sometimes joins in. He's been kinda busy with the 6th level pack, as well as his own streaming schedule. Not so much here. At best, the levels are okay. Even if the boss arenas were interesting, that doesn't make up for the rest of the stages. I'll make it break these open. That's too suspicious. Tomorrow morning, I will be playing KWRPG Buster. So I'll be starting a bit early. It's a fan game made using the Super Mega engine, so I know that the physics will work properly. Two attacks in the same stage? That's surprising. So it's not like this is too difficult. Eddie's World. Eddie's World was decent, so let's see if that's decent too. I already played Powered Down. Unless they make a major redux, I'm not gonna play it again. Yeah, pretty much. Alright, Navy Blue's been defeated, so 7 Color Masters remain. Color Fusion Masters, that is. Those being Aqua, Gray, Violet, White, Brown, Lime, and Magenta. I'll give you 1 minute to vote starting from now. And yeah, episode 0, more puzzle focused. Which is to his credit, episode 0 was fun. Really fun. It's basically Magma 2 but better. We have a tie between Magenta and White. Someone please break the tie. Alright, we have a clear victor. The next Fusion Master I'm going after is White, codename White, Frozen Woman, with 47 plays and a score of 12. Name of the electric tower? I can't recall what it was yet. I should have the name in my Let's Play. Stormy Spire by In-Universe. That's what it's named. It's basically a very good version of Airflow Hubble from Magma 2. Turning one of the worst stages in Magma 2, well, maybe not worst, but one of the terrible stages, into one of my favorite stages. Oops, I hit the side. Which two colors were they? I remember the bosses more by their colors, codename colors, not their actual names. Stormy Spire. Spire is an S-P-I-R-E. Let's go. Let's go. I'm a bit afraid to use special weapons in situations like this, because ice blocks. Yellow and black, I see. Precisely, Jaden. Like that. We'll get there. I mean, if we're following color mixing patterns, Codename White should be one of the first masters, not the fusion masters. It's the exact same music as Airflow Hubble. Which is to say, yeah, I agree with you. After dying 2 times at the start, we're finally making progress. Remember, each stage is about 5 to 6 minutes long. If anything, yeah, they should be either the first. White should be one of the first ones, black second, or make them the final ones. It would fit perfectly. Or make rainbow the final one. Nightman time. Oh. Yeah, trying to make the jump without that. Thank goodness there is a checkpoint here. Hornet Man was originally going to be Honey Woman, but the rest is history. Precisely, Jaden. Hence my reasonings for the positions. Making them the last 2 would probably be the best. What I should have done initially. Good thing the icicles themselves aren't slippery. mud or some similarity. I'd like to go to a swamp stage. I see. Yeah, I never did have a bomb or elect section. Whoa. Whoa. I keep getting tempted to use special weapons, only to stop myself because... crack blocks. Also, channel updates. On Monday, I'll release the Let's Try of Mega Man Time Adventure. Edited down, of course. So 15 minutes of nothing happening or 15 minutes mistakes will be removed. Tuesday, probably Paper Mario. Wednesday or Thursday, the finale is Skullboy Refractured. Depending on whether I decide to split the last episode into two or not. I'm not sure if it's within 30-35 minutes, I'll keep it as one episode, but if it exceeds 40 minutes or 45 minutes, it's getting split into two. It's much better for YouTube metrics that way. Oh yeah, Wildermyth will return as well, with the final chapter. I finished all 4 chapters, with the exception of the 5th one. That will return later this week or the beginning of next week, seeing how Wildermyth is getting fully released on very soon. And there are some pretty major differences in version 1 that's coming out. Especially in regards to the procedure-generated campaigns. I don't know. I remember doing this with just base, and I completely circumvented most of the challenges. And here I kind of screwed this up. Protocoil, save me. What? I didn't even touch the spike, I was just doing a side jump. Thanks. Yeah, I'd rather just use the protocoil for this. Unless I have base. It's far less risky to pull off tricks like this. They're far from being the worst. I mean, I have a harder time with the fans here, and the magflies. At least with ice physics and spikes, they're consistent. I don't exactly like the ice physics in this engine, I much prefer magmos. But you can get used to their patterns. Just one more stream. Well, actually, a bit of off-screen recording and one more stream. Off-screen, I'm gonna talk with all the NPCs, do all the Chuck Quizmos, and maybe the Koopa Koot favors, as well as some other preparation. Then a week from Sunday, final stream. I already talked about how I'm gonna divide the episode in Discord. By the way, please join the Discord server if you're watching the video. It'll be really appreciated. I frequently post updates there and on Twitter. Go there if you want to see when my next streams and videos are. It does a better job of showcasing or publishing when the next video is coming out compared to YouTube. Thankfully, the Marrows did a better job of what their job was. Willamette was almost suffering the same fate, but I got revived. And yes, I will get back to it. I'm afraid I wasn't able to. I'll do it right after the stream. I'll PM you once I get that. Haha, I didn't even see the ice block. Sheesh, this is one of the longer stages. We're already going over 7 minutes. Maybe 6 minutes if you want to be more generous. But we're at the end. Let's rumble. Yeah, the time I spend editing R is time I'm wasting, time I'm losing for editing other things. The only character who can do this, it's so funny. Hi Joe, welcome from Florida. Oh, nothing, Zero. Just going through one of the level packs. The second Color Fusion Master has been destroyed. 6 remain: Aqua, Gray, Violet, Brown, Lime, Magenta. How is this so far? Decent. All levels are about the same quality of being okay to decent. It's one of the more consistent level packs, similar to the one I covered 2 weeks ago. Each of the levels is about 5 to 7 minutes long on average. Difficulty isn't too tough. I'd say I recommend it to people who have average skill in Mega Man Maker. Magenta or Lime. "15 seconds, then I'll just flip a coin." Okay, we have a winner. The next Fusion Master I'm going after is... Codename Lime, Frogwoman. 59 plays, score 24. Pixel Boy was the tiebreaker. That's cool, Nuthouse. Yeah, the first set were covered during last week's stream, and they were more conventional, like red, blue, green, yellow, etc. Well, maybe not yellow, but you get the idea. Now we have the fusion colors, and less conventional colors. This is kind of ugly. Then again, I do like limes. It's not so much the foreground, it's the background. I'll leave the buoys alive. They don't deserve any of this. Let them play in their pools. Shine in love? If you told me, I wouldn't believe that. Nothing? They're fine. I understand love being one of the components, but shine? I think it'd be something like night. No matter. Still, the background is kinda making the stage look a bit ugly. Oh, yeah, this still never fails to confuse me. This is part of the background, not the foreground. The way it is now, it looks kind of like a fake wall. Sorry, Vui. Yeah, true. The one major downside about this level pack is that it has no NSF replacements. The last level pack I played did have them. Remember folks, if you're submitting a level pack to me, I highly advise you have NSF replacements. That way you can score some easy points in my book. Lime is light green. For Rock Forest, the fusions made more sense to me. Most of them. Which one made the least sense to you, JetHawk? Oh boy. All the green is kind of distracting. Whoa! I was worried he was gonna crush me. Don't worry, Zerlings. When I had school, I had similar commitments. Trailman is... what was his components? I'm sparing you, dear Vui. Have fun guarding the door. They need the help of Capcom or someone else, though. Oops, sorry. Well, who were the component RMs for Trail and Portman? Oh, it's only Toadman. And it's not that this arena is dangerous. If anything, there should be more acid drops everywhere. And remove the yoga blocks. Or add more of them. Easiest boss in the series yet. Tree down. 5 left to go. Making steady progress. Most of the deaths that happened during the last stage were my fault, really. She does have a weakness, but she's already weak enough. Aqua, Gray, Violet, White, Brown, and Magenta are remaining. Fun fact. Bui's name is mistranslated as just V. In the Japanese version, it's basically supposed to be pronounced as Vui, as in buoy with a V. Yeah, Toadman by his lonesome is a pretty easy battle. He's best used in tandem with another boss, as part of a gimmick, or as a stage hazard. And to be fair though, Electman's AI is more dangerous. You can easily break it, but even if you decide to break it, he's still more challenging. I mean, even if you break Toadman's AI pattern, what can he really do? Just jump out over you? His only real attacks are just using the Rain Flush or trying to jump on you. That's it. Oh, not that many voters. We have a three-way tie. You have 15 seconds. Hey Christian, welcome to the stream. Okay, we have a clear victor. The next Fusion Master up is... Codename Magenta, Pop Woman. 30 plays, score of 8. Soda Pop? Looking at WebMega's website, the general difficulty each of the stages is easy to normal. Sometimes bordering very easy. Which I agree with. Compared with the SAN numbers, there's not too much trouble. Oh sure, YouTube, definitely. Not to mention, water conducts electricity, so you probably would have a tiny bit of disadvantage. I played it as mostly Mega in this pack, so I'm giving Proto and Base more time in the limelight. Soda, vodka, Draginski. It'd be funny if both of those people existed at the same time. Like Soda Pop would be his son or something. His son, brother, or cousin. This is sort of magenta. It's mostly a combination of red and purple. I mean, as the individual colors. Ah, pop as in lollipop. Blue and purple does work too. That's what magenta is to me. Red combined with purple. Ah, that's better. Whoa. No, no, no. That's what I was worried. I should have just waited. Another way to make the Toadman more difficult is to have multiple of them on different sides of the screen. But at least combine them with a different boss. 2, 3, 4. Common Rider Magenta. The pink one is X8, right? You know, I really wish they took Holy Water further, and in a more joking fashion, the parodies. How about Holy Soda? Or Holy Chocolate Milk? I'm surprised the Castlevania parodies, etc. didn't go with that. Ring, Concrete, and Freeze. Yikes. Freeze isn't too bad because you can get used to his pattern, you can manipulate enough, and he has enough tells with that. Ring he follows a consistent pattern, but you have to pay close attention to it, and if you fail to do it properly, react to it, you'll be punished hard. Concrete is the toughest out of the bunch. I said this before and I'll say it again, Concrete Man and Ring Man are the toughest bosses in the engine so far. Freeze Man to a certain extent as well. If you don't know his pattern, he's tough. If you do know his pattern and you're fighting him on his lonesome, it's not too much of an issue. This is fun. I wish Springman stage in the original Mega Man 7 had something like this. How hard were they? Ringman was easier in Mega Man 4. Concrete Man, about as difficult as here. Actually slightly tougher. Freeze Man, about as tough as here. Actually a bit tougher because of the smaller screen size. Sorry, I just looked at... Did you see how Porter Man moved while he was taking damage while screen transitioning? What? Did you just see what happened there? I slid to the left and died on the right side of the block. Wrong side. They do have teams, yes. Like this one's based off of bounciness, and supposedly lollipops, but kind of hard to have food like this. The teams are more noticeable during the first half, where we had the non-fusion masters. It's more based around the colors than the other way around. That's why I say it's decent. It does have mechanics and gimmicks, but they aren't really explored as much. As much as I'd hope, at least. Okay, I'm gonna play it safe. This block's dangerous. Suddenly lag. How I wish I had the power adapter. Oh! Those blocks were causing the lag for some reason. Ugh. Game, I was pressing the jump button. Then look what happened. This is why I wish sometimes more people made games in other engines. Now we have to do this again. I thought I could sneak by with the old slider, but I forgot you can't rely on this engine to do things like this properly. I doubt I'll be successful. However, I am trying to convince a few other people to play Magmo, at least episode 0. So keep an eye out for it. Now this time I have to run for my life. Should make for a more exciting challenge. Imagine if it was a spike ball. Actually, do I even need this? I don't. Oh. I made this easy on myself. We're out. That's what I should have done originally. Let it go behind me. If I just let it go off screen, I would have had an easier time. You probably should force the player to actually do it. Otherwise, that's the optimal strategy. Bounceman vibrates intensely. Once again, an arena that works more against the boss than me. Yeah, it's fun. I like that section with all the bouncing on the blocks. 4 down. 4 left to go. The next RM I'm going after. The next fusion RM I'm going after is Codename Aqua, Leviathan Woman. 44 plays, score of 8. Sort of, Zero Links. Here is Dr. Crayon. Knowing Mega Man, it's probably related to Wily. Yeah, let's do Mega for this one. I'm not consuming any ERM tanks, but that may change once I enter the fortresses. I love Aquaman's team here. You know, I used to dislike Mega Man 8, but over the time, I've gotten to enjoy it more. The reverse is true with Tree. Seven... It's kind of a weird situation. I used to say it was okay, now I think it's decent-ish. Who was the creator of crayons anyways? Was Dr. Chalk his father? Oh boy, I almost fell into the spikes there. Must have involved quite a bit of paintball. You know, paintball cannons wouldn't be out of place in here. If we could have custom enemies. Worked. where Wily gets these castles, he either builds them himself with his builder bots, or subcontracts them. As for the budget, based off the comics, he likely just licenses he likely just sells his robots and licenses his technology to the military, and probably has some shell companies for developing appliances and whatnot. It's a pretty lucrative trade. Dive time. I mean, compared to all the robots Light develops, Wily has a better shot of making money, I'd say. Far better shot. If he didn't just go evil, he could have easily become a millionaire or a billionaire. But I don't think really Wily cares about the money now. I should have just damage boosted. Whoa. Didn't intend to do that. He already gets the paycheck, but what he wants to do is send a message to be number one, not in terms of money, but fame. Of course, that's true for many fictional supervillains. Maybe not House. Maybe. I'll get back to it on my own time eventually. I've mostly been spending my time on other things, for example, editing footage. And focusing on far better games. It is, especially once we got to the comics in 9-10. I just wish I'd spend a bit more time focusing on it. Really though, the series that suffers the most from its plot not being explored enough is the X series. The Zero series had its plot explored enough, I'd say. ZX really needed the third game in the series. Hope it comes out eventually. And it benefits heavily from Zero's world building. And Classic, although it doesn't really have as much lore and story bits, it works better to the game's credit. It's not like they're heavily story-based. And what world building and lore we have is fairly decent. But the X series, it suffers the most from. It should have by this point the same amount of detail and world building as Zero. I mean, think of all the potential of having human-like robots and how much that would upend society. I mean, robots with actual emotions, and then there's the whole risk of it going Maverick. There's so many avenues of storytelling which aren't even explored. Even if you only focus on X, I want to see those things explored more. True, Zerolinks. But enough of my ranting. I mean, if you want a good example of a light-hearted story but that still has some world building, take a look at the Battle Network series, the analog to the Classic series. If we had the same amount of world building and lore and story, character development as the latter in the former, I think the Classic series would be better. We don't have to go to RPG levels of story building and whatnot, but at least a few more cutscenes here and there. And maybe more optional manuals or something. Many different robots. Zero was his ultimate robot, but he took it even further, building hundreds. Even age, you're right. I just wish that aspect was explored more in the X series. Or perhaps the classic series, but it would work better in the X series. Okay then, 3 left to go. Gray, violet, or brown. Violet or brown? We need a tiebreaker. Oh wait, we already have a tiebreaker. Never mind. The next Fusion Master I'm going after is... Codename Violet, Labman, 24 plays, score 7. I didn't see Pixel Boy's vote until the end. Same, Zerlinks. The next one, if I were to rewrite the plot, I'd say that Zero gets critically injured or something. And instead, X has to go on by his lonesome to defeat Sigma. And in X2, you could rewrite the plot so that if X doesn't get those repair parts, Zero's gonna die permanently. And keep Zero's death in X5, perhaps. Or if you want to keep the series going on with X6 and 7 and 8, rewrite that as well. Hot Zone. I've always been in the notion that we can still have an X6 and keep Zero dead. Oh yeah, Devilman. I kept this team because I like it better. I mean, you can have X6 focus on X's sorrow and getting over Zero's death, or learning to cope with it. And X7 you can introduce Axel, X8, etc. I know, right, Zerlinks? The more it happens, the less impactful it is. That's why I rewrite X1 to make it so that Zero doesn't die at all there, just gets critically injured. And rewrite X2's plot accordingly, where there's a risk of him perishing. I kind of miffed that Maverick Hunter X still went with Zero dying. When it's ready. At least with the Zero series, it makes better sense, I guess. Because he survived 100 to 150 years later, and if we keep what my proposed rewrite goes, that'll be the first time he's revived. Or if you want to change it up, make it so that it's not actually Zero who's revived, but a facsimile. Or perhaps the spirit lives on. Command Mission is a nice side story. Could do the story better though. It's decent, but compared to stuff like FF9 or 10, eh. Story-wise, I like the Zero series more than the X series, All Man's Time. But yeah, the fact that we have X6 and beyond kind of messes with that. Also, I do have some critiques, like much of the story being in the audiobooks, which really should have been included with the games. All I'm saying is that after the Classic and X series, Capcom did a better job with storytelling. But still, they have a lot to learn. Hey, Paul. Going through Mega Man Colors. I don't blame you. ZX1 has a confusing world map, and its map screen is not useful. I don't blame you if you use a guide for that. ZX2 is far more linear. That was my bad. And I'd say I probably would recommend that a bit more. But compared with 03 and 04, ZX1 and 2 are kind of a step down. Still, you can try it out. The best way to play it right now is to buy the 0ZX bundle. Going for a more colorful aesthetic, you mean? Less grungy. I know the Zero series is definitely darker and grittier, but still maintain quite a bit of color. That's something I like about the Mega Man series. Despite sometimes being darker, it never fails to maintain a colorful atmosphere, or colorful aesthetic. I wouldn't call them extremely good, 1 and 2 especially. 3 and 4 though, they're the highlights. 1 and 2 have some balancing issues. Again, my biggest gripe with that sub-series is the viewing screen, viewing distance. Oh, that. I don't mind that if it's colorful, but I get you what you mean. I don't blame him for not liking the short viewing range. That is annoying. But I don't hate the series. Really, the main thing I'm waiting for is purchasing that bundle and getting a better computer. I can't really emulate it, the latter especially. My computer isn't strong enough to emulate, stream, and record. Easy. Overwatch, I actually like the aesthetic. bright, cheerful, colorful, and diverse in terms of body styles and whatnot. That's one of the executions which I enjoy. I mean, Blizzard has a good knack of making appealing-looking characters. I know I have a lot of complaints about how they run the series, but that's one of the things I'll never complain about. Their aesthetics. Going back to your point, Zerlings, yeah. How simplistic gameplay story is, and Zero for the opposite. Which is a shame really, because the X series, I feel, has a lot of missed potential. Both in terms of story and gameplay. And the Zero series sort of fixes that. You know, your point does sound quite pertinent to me, Zerlings. Gameplay-wise, I think it does a better job in story, more so. Unlike Mega Man Classic 1 and 2 and 3, and 0, 1 and 2, with X1, Capcom hit the ground running. They did a good job. And in terms of story... Actually, in terms of story, if you don't read the backstory, the first game wouldn't be too out of place in a classic series. It's only slightly more complicated. It's really just saying, 100 years have passed, robots now have emotions called Reploids, Maverick Virus is turning some of them renegade. We need to deal with them and save the world. It's a very simple plot. X2 and X3 is where they get more complicated, but it's really with X4 where we start to go into another level where it gets awkward. With X1, 2, and 3, they aren't too awkward, they have issues, but especially with X1, they're fine, as an extension from the classic series. I would also include X4 due to... There were several very important plot points which were not included in the story, but were only shown in the manual. And this is the PS1 era. It's not like the games don't have enough space to include them. For example, Iris and Colonel used to be the same robot. Even Zero had issues with that. I'm going to say that. In fact, that's kind of an issue with Capcom in general with the Mega Man series. Outside of the Battle Network and Legends, and Star Force. That's why I wouldn't say it's a train wreck. Well, with X1 and 3 it wasn't exactly a train wreck, but once we got to X4, it became problematic. Until X8. Which sort of felt like a soft reboot in a way. To put it another way, Capcom was learning to make better stories for Mega Man with X4, where they decided to take several leaps forward and stumbled. Last two RMs, gray or brown. Five and especially 6's stories are... X5 is awkward, but I get what they're going at. X6 is simply a mess. No kidding, Jaden. Sigma should have been destroyed by X5 or X6. Keep Lumine as for X8 and Red Alert for 7. I never fully played ZX2. For ZX1, I watched the Let's Play and I say, yeah, I think it's worth it. Just make sure to play it with a map guide. Don't use the in-game map, unless for general layout. It's too confusing. Brown, brown. Alright, we have a victor. Next Fusion Master up is Codename Grey Clone Man, 28 plays, score of 10. Day 1 with 3 votes. Last but not least would be brown. I said this before in the previous stream, and I'll repeat it. I like Skillboy more than Alpha version 0. There were large portions in the latter where it was kind of going through the motions and wasn't that engaging, whereas with the former, it forced me to be more engaged. The worst thing to do is to force me... The worst thing I feel for a game is when it sets you to work on autopilot, and there's nothing interesting going on. The final part of the Skillboy LP will be released on Wednesday or Thursday. I may need to re-record some of my outro, but we'll see. Let's do this, Mega. Different tastes. Again, my biggest problem with Alpha version 0 was the amount of button mashing, how rote it felt, and I kind of put my brain on autopilot for at least 30 to 40% of the playthrough, maybe 25%. At least with Skillboy, it varied up the environments enough and forced me to pay attention. An Alpha version outside of New Game Plus was too easy. I know Skillboy was kind of on the easier side, but it wasn't too easy. Also, it had far better balance. There weren't just 2 or 3 weapons which outclassed the rest completely. Let me rephrase my statement. Even though the sword, axe, and the mace were better than the spear, it was kind of intended, and the wands were only for support anyways. But with Alpha version 0, the light rifle and pistol simply outclass everything else by a long degree. Cool. RPM I feel is kind of underrated and somewhat underdeveloped. Oh, let's compare all those, you're right. As I said, I found Skillboy to be okay. Cathedral I found to be decent. It does succeed in terms of making a Metroidvania, but a little bit more linear-ish. But I feel that the tools you got weren't utilized as much. Environments were eh. And music was eh as well. Primal Light is decent to almost good. It did a better job of varying up the environments and increasing the difficulty over time. Though it does play it, maybe it doesn't play it as safe as something like Cyber Shadow, but execution-wise it did a fairly good job. Cyber Shadow is the best out of the group. I'd say it's almost good to good. I agree with Daibun of it being too safe, playing it really safe, but stuff playing it safe isn't necessarily bad, especially when it does a good job of executing on the mechanics. And how much speedrunning potential there is. Cyber Shadow's just begging to have a New Game Plus mode, where you start with all the abilities. The ground... it's the hardest to compare out of the bunch, because Cyber Shadow, Primal Light, Cathedral, Skillboy, they're all action-adventure, and most of them are platformers to more or less degrees. A Ground is a 2D resource collection game, / RPGs. My thoughts on it are kind of... See, out of all the games, it has the most depth and complexity. If I were to give one word for that game, or 2 words, it would be decent, somewhat messy. Okay, 3 words. Comparing it to something like... what was that game? Forager. Forager was also a 2D resource collection game. I liked it more than Forager, mainly as we actually had a goal we were going towards, story-wise, 2 of them. Survival / rebuilding civilization, and defeating the aliens. Oh no. and the mirrors, and all the characters. On that point, my biggest issues with that game are not so much the customization, that's good, I actually like a bit more of that. It's that I wish there was a recipe book on hand, because for a large chunk of the playthrough, I didn't realize, for example, you could craft power cores. It gets a bit confusing trying to memorize which buildings support building different parts until the endgame where you have everything. But I do like how everything progresses over time, how you unlock more stuff, starting with just wooden and stone tools, and ending the game with antimatter missiles and magic and whatnot. My other gripe is that I wish we had more character development outside the Miros and the Alchemist. They had character development, sort of, but I wanted to see, for example, the Woodcrafter, how he reacts to the situation developing at the endgame. He did have a few words, but they didn't feel developed enough. Same applies especially with the Miro's daughter. She did react to her dad, but I wanted to see further character development. Right now they feel more like signposting. It's not bad, it just feels like it could have been easily taken further, seeing how story-based the ground is. It really enhanced the game if we had more depth to each of the characters, seeing how they adapt to how the world's changing, and how we're re-advancing human civilization. It does take risks, and I'd say it does a decent job. In terms of polish, I think Forger has a better layer of polish, but in terms of depth, complexity, and engagement, I like Aground more. Forger seems more geared to players who are min-maxers. Yeah, pretty much Jaden. I know she didn't exactly like her parents, but I want to see more development of her. Same with everyone else. Like the woodcutter. As for Sonic Generations, remember, playing it safe isn't bad. And they kinda took a risk. Why, you may ask? They brought back Classic Sonic in a much more accurate fashion compared to Sonic 4. Because with Sonic 4 Episode 1, they didn't bring back Classic Sonic. They just plonked down Mega Man. They just plonked down modern Sonic in a 2D environment, really. And they finally refined the boost formula enough. So I guess it's semi-playing it safe. Well... Again, I don't mind if they play it safe, as long as they don't keep playing it safe for repeated games. Sometimes going back to basics or intermediates is the best option. And basic isn't bad anyways. My reaction to Scaleboy, for example, would be much nicer if the game was priced at $10, not $20. It's all about expectations. I wouldn't exactly call Scaleboy kid-friendly either. Maybe, maybe not. Older kids. Yep, exactly. The problem is, Sonic 4 tried to just directly translate modern Sonic into the classic gameplay level design, and placed too much automation, springs, and the homing attack and air boost, without fully accounting for the new moveset and how it affect the gameplay. At least for Advance and Rush, they mostly tailored the level design to Sonic's moveset. I don't know, for Cyber Shadow, Shadow dying was actually a good ending, I'd say. Seeing how prolonging life in a game is treated, yeah, sometimes that is better than life. Especially the Forever Life they were showing. Eee. Speaking of Sonic, Mania was amazing. Forces was just a disgrace. A huge drop in quality compared to Mania, and even compared to Generations, and perhaps Unleashed too. Unleashed had more complicated level design than Forces ever did. In fact, I'd say that Forces is a disgrace to all the other Boost titles preceding it. Unleashed, Colors, Generations, all of them. How do you get simpler level design than the preceding 3 games? And to say they were working on the game for over 3 to 5 years, and yet most of it was spent on building the engine. It's just a disgrace. Yeah, it was a critical flop. Critical and fan flop. I don't have any beefs with Mania itself. My only thing I'd prefer if the game did instead was have more original levels, but that was a mandate from Sega, so we have to work around that. At the very least, it took some more uncommon levels like Oil Ocean. Hardcore fanboys like that, I have much disdain for them. To put it another way, it's bad. Forces is bad, just avoid it. Watch a playthrough on YouTube. The best part of the game was making your own OC. And some of the music. So the last of the Fusion Masters is Codename Brown Boulder Man. 28 plays, score of 9. I hope they learned a lesson with Rangers, and I can't really discuss it more because most of the information we have about it is from leaks. And, well, leaks are relegated to their own channel. But from what I've seen, assuming the leaks are correct and not contradicting each other, I'm hoping it's better. The VC is an awesome idea. Was. I just wish Nintendo put more of their games on it. My biggest... Let me rephrase this. In my honest opinion, I'm gonna preface this. For much of the recent decades, Sega doesn't know what to do with Sonic. Especially 3D Sonic. They sort of understand what to do with 2D Sonic, like Chris and Whitehead and friends do their thing. But for 3D... I don't think they know what they want to do with it. They sort of hit a gold mine with the boost formula, but then we saw what happened with Forces. My biggest issue until the boost formula was that they didn't really stick to a formula and iterate on it. Yeah, that's one issue. But then again, I'm a PC gamer, so I don't really have much sympathy for them then. We've always had the ability to play older games. Maybe with some patches with or older PCs, but still had the option. Plus all the emulators. At best, emphasis on best being super generous here, it was subpar. I'm just so flabbergasted how simplistic the level design is compared with the 3 preceding Boost games. I have many issues at Unleashed, but the level design being too simplistic is not one of them. It's only in the endgame of Forces where it opens up. But enough of my ranting about Forces. TLDR, just ignore it. Buy Generations on PC instead and play with mods. To be honest, I think I would like to see a port for Unleashed on the PC. I know there's the Unleashed project or Generations, but I just want to see a full version of the game. That way players can mod it. That way modders can mod in some of the lower quality aspects of the game. Especially in regards to the werehog. Cool. Are the Avion games currently on Steam? If they are, you can try purchasing it from there. Specifically 2. Although I feel Miyamoto is a brilliant level designer, some of his... I don't really agree with some of his decisions. See, I won't say that Sonic works better in 2D or 3D, in theory, or potentially, but the way it's been executed in the past, ever since his inception, he's worked better in 2D. We were building up to something with Sonic Adventure 2, then we had Heroes, and then we had the whole Dark Age. And see, they were actually building up to something interesting with Generations, but they completely dropped the ball. Sorry, I keep getting them confused. And you're right. Give credit where credit is due. My apologies. Sonic Boom was also a victim of rushing and a misstep. To put it bluntly, most of the 3D platformers in the Sonic library are subpar, or have very obvious flaws, or missed potential. The cartoon was the best part of it, though. True, they kind of did. At least it got 2 seasons. That's the best part of that sub-franchise. Again, if you want to play a 3D Sonic game, I strongly recommend you check out some reviews and reviews for them before you decide to go into them, or ask me. There's no 3D Sonic game I'd say is outright 100%, which I'd recommend as being good nowadays. All of them have their own quirks. Significant quirks. Oh darn. I'll have to use an alternate source to get to then. 11 for 12, iterated on 11. The double gear system was brilliant and added a lot of depth to the classic series. I very much approve of it. Keep the graphical style, touch up the animations, iterate on 11. It's the best the classic series has been since 4. All the Fusion Masters have been defeated, so next up are the further stages in Act 3, which I'll be saving for next week. We spent over 90 minutes on these 8 stages, yikes. Thanks for the whole discussion on Sonic and other games, Jaden, Zerlinks, Paul, Pixel Boy, and everyone else. Tomorrow morning, AWRPG Buster. Well then, thanks for watching, and have a nice day.